All right, so we're just 1 minute past now. I think it's time to kick off. So welcome everyone. I'm David Cribbis, and you may know me as the Australis Pro Audio Account Manager for Queensland and Northern Territory. However, I've also recently taken on the additional role of Brand Manager for Ecler. So good afternoon to all those joining us from Australia, and good evening to the impressively large Kiwi contingent. I realise it's now 6:30 p.m. on your side of the ditch, so appreciate you joining us during your evening. And good morning to Victor in Barcelona, where it's early morning currently.
Good morning.
So here at Australis, we're very excited and proud to introduce the Ecler VO product range to ANZ for the first time. We felt it made perfect sense for our markets to offer a complete integrated one brand audio, video and control solution. So whilst Ecler audio products have been available for a long time here, Ecler video is brand new in our part of the world and obviously largely unfamiliar, hence why we organised this webinar. So I'll just do a little bit of housekeeping and make you aware that we're recording the session for later viewing by those unable to join us live and to allow you to revisit it. The session is expected to go for an hour, and we will allow some time at the end for a Q&A. Cameras and mics are turned off, so please type your questions in the chat window and as we go, and we'll address them at the end. So without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Victor Arranz. Hope I pronounced your name correctly, Victor.
Yeah, more or less, yes.
More or less, good enough. So Victor's an audio-visual systems engineer who specialises in the design and integration of video solutions for the pro market, and head of the Ecler Video Systems Division. Thanks, Victor, and over to you.
Great, thank you, David. So first of all, thank you all for joining. Okay, I know there's a bit of a time difference between our two countries, but we can make it work. So, okay, let me start by sharing a presentation with you. Okay. Today, we are going to make a brief product overview, okay, regarding what Ecler Video Catalog offers. Are you seeing the first slide right now? Yes? Okay.
Yes, we are.
Okay, good. So, thank you, Don. So yeah, Ecler Video. What do we do here? So the main goal of Ecler Video, okay, is to distribute HDMI video signals. Okay, we work with the top quality HDMI technology, that is HDMI 2.0, that's capable of up to 4K and 60 Hz resolution. Okay, and the point here is to be a full solution, okay, in terms of audio and video. So Ecler Video was born in 2019, the late 2019. Okay, so we are pretty young. It's a pretty young division. You will see that our catalog is growing. Okay, we have plenty solutions to fit the market, but in comparison maybe to other video suppliers, you will see that we have still some a lot to room for growing. Okay, but as I was saying, our main focus here, or our main intention, is to be able to go in hand with our Ecler audio equipment. Okay, so that's the whole idea here, to be a one-stop supplier for everything. As you can see, all Ecler products, including the video and the audio devices, have a 5-year warranty. Okay, so this shows how good, maybe it's not fair for me to say, but how reliable we think our products are. Okay, how much we trust them. so it reflects in that number. So 5-year warranty on all Ecler catalog, including video and audio. Okay. So next, as you can see here, this is a brief product category, okay, where you can see more or less all the different types of products we have working currently in our portfolio. So first of all, I'm going to run one by one on it, okay, give you the brief description and some highlights, okay. Any question, as David put it at the beginning, you can type it on the chat, and we will address it at the end, okay. Good. So with first category, as you can see here, have a bunch of routing devices. I'm going to start with the switching devices. The first product is a very straightforward, self-explanatory 4x1 4K switcher. Okay. As you can see here, we have also several extra features like auto sourcing. Okay, that is that when you connect an HDMI source, it can automatically switch to it. Okay, this can be turned on and off. And also you are going to be able to remote control this device through RS-232 serial commands as well. Okay. It decodes ARC signals. Okay. So this is something that's pretty useful as well for the domestic market, or for small installations like sports bar and such. And also you can extract both analog and digital audio signals through the mini jack port there. Okay, the digital audio is built in the mini jack connector. So with the Toslink technology, you are going to be able to output audio there. Then we have one of the two presentation switchers we are going to see today. The first one, that one, is more like a hard wire cabled type of solution, and you will understand why I say that in a minute. As you can see here, also 4K signals. In that case, it's not only HDMI, but also USB-C. We have a USB-C input there and a wireless input. Here where you see the spot where the antenna should be, this will allow to user to share some content wirelessly with the device using the native wireless protocols of communication like AirPlay for iOS or macOS and Miracast for the rest of devices. Okay. Obviously as well, audio extraction, in that case in a stereo balance type of connection, so you can go further. And the main highlight of this product, as you can see in the right side of the rear panel, is the USB hub port. Okay, so what does this allow is to connect a USB peripheral like a USB camera or a USB mic and be able to share it, okay, between the rest of the inputs. This device also allows for remote controlling through RS-232. Okay. Here is a very brief schematic, a very brief diagram showing what I just told you. Okay, this is a very little room, a huddle room, where you were able to connect a USB camera and USB mic to the switcher and be able to share it between the laptops or computers here in order to access them and use it in a video conference. Okay. This is a very easy scenario, very little scenario. You can maybe take it up a notch. This is actually the setup we had in our meeting room, okay, a couple of years ago. As you can see here, we have added an audio matrix and an audio setup here, and also some microphones running in with Dante. Okay, so if you add a Dante audio here, which I'm pretty sure you all know what this device does, but for the ones that doesn't, Dante audio is a USB converter, okay, that allows, it's a sound card, a USB sound card that allows to control Dante audio devices and connect it through the USB connection. Okay, so through that, we were able to use Dante mics connected to the device, and obviously the USB camera as well. So each and every one of these PCs, once selected, okay, were able to share this USB infrastructure. Okay. Now, second presentation switcher we have in our catalog. Okay. This device is completely wireless. Okay. That is why I was highlighting that the other one was more like a hardwired version with cables. This one is completely wireless. Okay, as you can see here, the only input you are going to find are the 3 USB Type A ports and a USB-C as well. Okay. Then also it's noticeable that you have 2 RJ45 connectors. Okay, that allows you to connect 2 different independent networks in the installation. Okay. This is a very complete device. Okay, its main goal is to be able to share, to let the user share content wirelessly to it, okay, and display it through the HDMI 4K output here. Okay, we will see a brief example later as well. Other features that it includes are multi-view. Okay, so you have a 4 participant split view at the same time, and you can also hold 16 more in hold. Okay, and you can switch between all these participants, okay, and allow them to go in and out of the sharing presentation. It also allows for PoE powering, so this can be installed in whatever place you feel. Okay. Also, we have line out audio extraction. Okay. This product falls in between the pro and the consumer market as well, so the line out was a bit more appropriate for it. Okay, but yeah, more or less, this is the whole deal. Obviously, you can also control it through TCP and RS-232 commands. Okay, so there are 3 ways. There are 3 ways in which you can share content to the switcher. The first way is like the previous one. You can use AirPlay, you can use Miracast, or you can use Chromecast, or you can use these 2 wireless transmitter technologies. Okay, so the first one, the VOSWC44TH and TU, are physical wireless transmitters in the shape of a dongle, okay, which go directly plugged to the local device, being it a PC or a laptop. Okay, also you can use it on tablets as well. You can see here we have the HDMI type of solution and the USB-C type of solution. And then we have an application which is virtually a wireless transmitter. Okay, it does the same functionality, but you can run it on your laptop. We call it BioShare, okay, and it's available for multiple platforms. That is Windows, Mac OS, and Android. Okay. So next up is a very as well brief application example as well for another huddle room. Okay, you will see the difference between the other one. Obviously, this can be used in a in a bigger room with a bigger installation, but this will illustrate very good what this device is looking for. So as I was saying, we also have our USB peripheral video conference system here. We have a USB camera and a USB mic. Okay, we have our main display in the room, our local video conferencing host. Okay, our lady that wants to speak here, our remote teammates, and we have the switcher. So obviously, we are going to use a USB cable to connect the USB peripherals to the switcher. Okay, HDMI cable will go to the screen, and instead of using a USB cable to connect to the local host, what we are going to be doing here is just plug in the dongle or launch the app, okay? And you're going to be able to transmit both bidirectionally, okay? You are going to be able to share local content with the TV, or you are going to be able to use the USB camera and USB microphone, okay, to allow this local video conference host, this PC, to receive the information of the camera and the microphone wirelessly. Okay. So as I was saying, this is a very short example of what an application can be with this device. Obviously, this can grow bigger. You can add more than one. We have also a manager that allows to control all of them. Okay, we have a web settings page included that will allow for some more control. This you can see more in depth looking at the user manual, for example. Okay, but more or less this is the main objective here. Good. So now going to matrices. Okay. The first step here is a 4x4 HDMI 2.0 matrix. Okay, as you can see, is also a very self-explanatory device. So for inputs, for outputs, and in that case, audio extraction both in analog and digital. Analog is unbalanced error block, okay, and digital is coaxial digital out. In the front panel, you can see you have several control buttons, including input and output remote control buttons, and also to access the menu on the LCD display and to navigate through it. Okay, in the LCD display, you will be able to see the actual routing setup that it's currently running. You can select which input you want to go to the output. That's the usual behavior, okay? And you will be able to tweak some of the parameters here, like ED, information, audio extraction in one fashion or the other, okay? As well, TCP and RS-232 remote control and a web settings page to configure all the parameters that you need. Then we move to its bigger brother. Okay, now it's 8x8 HDMI matrix. The same flavor of device here, for the same concept. The only thing that we are adding is audio embedding as well in the input. So you can insert audio and mix it with the HDMI audio. Sorry, not mix it. Override the HDMI audio signal with the analog insertion audio selection source. Sorry, and also you will be able to run ARC and CEC commands here. Okay, For the rest is the same way of function and technology. Okay, good. So now moving on to all the technologies that support the HDMI video distribution, but in that sense, to be able to go further in lengths, okay? Because as you know, HDMI has a 5-6 meter limitation when it comes to 4K resolution in terms of cable run, and 8 to 10 limitation when it comes to full HD signals. Obviously, you and I know that these are very limited figures, that you can maybe work it out with a bit more, okay? But the standard, the rule that the standard marks goes around those distances, okay? So that's the one. Those are the one that I'm allowed to share officially. But yeah, more or less, you know that we can get a bit more sometimes. It depends on resolution and compression and such, but more or less we will be revolving around those distances. Okay, so if we want to go a bit further, okay, the first technology we have available is video distribution over IP. This is a kind of solution that has slowly been growing in the past few years, and we can call it something like the actual video distribution solution right now, because all brands are throwing themselves into it. They have been launching a lot of products in that fashion. Okay, so to start with our video catalog, we have two range of products in that category. The first one is a full HD video over IP distribution system, including a transmitter and a receiver, okay, and also a controller module. As you can see here, we will go back to it in a bit. Put a pin on it for now. So as you can see here, in terms of hardware, both the transmitter and the receiver allow for some audio connections being done. In the transmitter side, you can both select audio insertion or audio extraction, okay, through the RS-32 unbalanced connector. And in the receiver, you only have audio extraction available, which is usually the kind of audio requirement you have in the far end, okay, in the remote end. What you can do with these devices is obviously attack some large distribution systems. We will see later in a brief application example as well. PoE is something that you have available as well. So if you have a managed switch that allows for this kind of technology, it will make your life so much easier, trust me. Other features that you can do with these devices is, for example, building video wall layouts up to 9x9 screen setups. Okay, so that is up to 81 devices, so it's pretty huge. And also you have available a web settings page for each device, where you can configure both the network information and the transmission parameters. Okay. So, as I was saying before, we also have a controller module available for these devices, which will allow for a unified control and management interface. Okay, through this device, where in one web settings page you will be able to monitor and control the whole system, okay, including all transmitters and receivers that are there. Obviously, this is something optional. The system can work without it, but it's strongly recommended for larger systems. Okay, good. So going to the flagship device model in this category, we have a 4K low latency video distribution solution, also including a transmitter and a receiver. In that sense, there are some variations in the hardware and in the features as well. As you can see here, in terms of hardware, we are also adding a fiber optic port. Okay, so you can go further distances, more or less the standard of local area networks connections go more or less up to 100 meters. With fiber optic, you can go up to 2 kilometers or even 60 kilometers, depending on the work mode you are choosing. Okay, and also USB extension. Okay, so you will be able to, for example, use it in KVM type of applications where keyboard, mouse, etc., will be able to be shared through the network. In terms also of audio management, you have audio embedding on the transmitter and audio extraction on the receiver. Okay, and also video wall build up is possible here. It's not 9x9. Here is 8x8, but it's more than enough as well. Okay. PoE also available through the RJ45 connector. Okay. If you are using the fiber optic, you will need to use a power supply, okay, on each device. But if you are using the RJ45 connector, you can use PoE. And also a web settings page dedicated both for the transmitter and the receiver that will allow you for some configuration and management. Okay. In terms of video transmission latency, and I want to point out here because it's a common mistake when we are talking about delay here in this kind of technology. What we mean is the delay, the time that it gets for a signal to be encoded and decoded. Okay, so it's the time you will be getting when you input an HDMI signal into the transmitter, the time you will be having between you input it and you output it to the receiver. Okay, but audio and video will go in sync, always will go in sync. Okay, so in that case, we are using a video codec that allows for up to 2 frames latency. So this is pretty quick in comparison to the previous devices, which I think I didn't mention it, but they are running with H.64 and H.65 video codecs. So this has a bit more latency in the vicinity of 100 milliseconds, more or less. It's still very low, but this is even lower. Okay, so it allows for more live applications than the previous one. No controller module for these devices. Okay, so you will be able to use them with another. Let's put a pin on that information right now as well. We will go back to it later, but know that for now, no controller module is needed for this category, for these 4K devices. Okay, so another application example for this kind of solutions, I'm going to use the Full HD, the VO162 series for this application, but it more or less can be translated to the 4K for the 4K type of solution as well. Okay, so video over IP, as we were saying before, is aimed for large distribution systems. Okay, that is, you can also you can install it both in hospitality, retail, also maybe you can use it as well in airports, hospitals. So it's every installation that needs 1, 2, 3, 4 signals to be extended through a great distance and through a lot of endpoints displays. Video over IP is the one to go. Both also not by the technology itself, but also because it's very scalable, it's flexible. Okay, you can take in or take out any device whenever you need it. Okay, as you will see here in the example. So we have chosen one of the installations we did a couple of months ago of the common areas of hotel. Okay, the two main floors where we had 3 devices that needed distribution, 2 video players and an audio player. Okay, and we needed to go to fit all these areas. Okay, with these AV signals. Okay, so as I was saying before, this is a very scalable and flexible solution. That means the key concept here is for each audio source, you will be adding 1 transmitter. For each endpoint, you will be adding a receiver. Okay. So with that logic, we will add 1 transmitter for the video player and another one for the multimedia server. Okay. We are going to feed the audio signal through the analog audio input on the transmitter, okay, and embed the audio signal in the HDMI flow there. And then we are going to add a receiver per each area, okay? But notice, for example, that in the bar and in the meeting room, the second meeting room, we also have video walls there. So we need to install 1 receiver per screen. Okay, the video wall management will be done in-house. So the processing, the scaling, everything is done through the receivers. Okay, but you need to use 1 receiver per screen. This is a 2x2, so we are using 4 receivers. That is something that, as you can imagine, if you add another screen or 2 more, you will need 2 more receivers. Okay, this is pretty obvious. Okay, so once we have everything in place, we just need to connect it to the networking infrastructure on our building. And please allow me to use a bit of quote here, because network infrastructure can be a lot of things. Okay, you can go from a very small installation with only 1 switcher, 1 Ethernet switcher there, up to a very huge stacked cluster of switches. Okay, in both cases, you will be able to control them. In the first one, you may have more access to the actual configuration and adjustment of the switcher. Maybe you are the technician there, but for larger organizations, for example, a hotel there, but we can be talking about the hospital, we can be talking about the security control room, whatever. There should be an IT specialist there, which will help you to interconnect those devices. Maybe you need to build some VLANs there, whatever. The case is, it's as easy as connecting each device to the network infrastructure, okay? And you are more or less good to go if everything is correctly set there. But as I was saying, this is not so much your responsibility. You will need to lean on the specialist there and to share the requirements you have for these devices, which are pretty standard, okay? 1 gigabit bandwidth there, and also IGMP snooping, which is a common technology for nowadays switchers. So you should have no problem for it. Okay, so once we have everything set and all two devices can be routed indistinctly. This is guys. This is a matrix. Okay, we are building a matrix. It's not a fixed localized matrix. Okay, but it's still a matrix in concept. So you will be able to bring any transmitter you have into any receiver. Okay, in the system. So for larger systems, as I was saying, it's recommended to use a controller, because otherwise, in first steps of installation, where you have to adjust everything and to the booting, you would be needing to access to each and every single web settings page on each device, okay, for the configuration. So that is, I don't know, here I think we have 20 devices, that is 20 tabs on your browser. With a controller module, you are going to be able to monitor all the system through one web interface, okay? And you will also be able to drag and drop to do the switching. You can build several user modes where each user can access the devices that you choose as an administrator of the system. Okay, so it's pretty complete. Take a look at each web page, because it's really a handful of a device. And finally, you can also add a control touchscreen, okay, to allow to build your panels for control, okay, of the whole system. So yeah, this is more or less, as I was saying, an example that you can use to expand, but the key elements are all there. Okay, so now we go to a point-to-point type of solution here. HD-based is, as you know, a proprietary technology, so it has its own kind of particularities in terms of connections. Okay, know that we have several devices in that range. The first two that I'm going to introduce are kits. So the transmitter and the receiver come in the same package. Okay, it's a point-to-point kit. The first one is a very also straightforward, self-explanatory device. Transmitter, receiver, HDMI 1.4, so you can go up to 4K 30 Hz. Here you can extend full HD signals up to 70 meters and 4K up to 40 meters, okay? And you can power the receiver through the cable, okay? So you just need to power supply with the PSU included the transmitter, and the receiver will be directly powered through the cable. The second one is a bit more professional device, a bit more complete in terms of hardware, okay? We are stepping up to HDMI 2.0 connectors here, and also you have audio management both in the receiver and the transmitter. So that is an audio extraction in Aeroblock unbalanced stereo connector in the transmitter and in the receiver. Okay. You also have an HDMI loop out for a local monitor or to daisy chain as well on the transmitter. The same features more or less as the previous one. Okay, so 40 meters for 4K, 70 meters for Full HD. but in that case, you have bidirectional powering. So you will be able to power one and each transmitter or receiver depending on your necessities. So you can either plug the power supply to the receiver and power the transmitter through the cable, or the other way around. Okay, good. Then we have the same idea, the same concept, but in that case we have a transmitter and a receiver sold separately. As we were saying before, HDBaseT is a technology that's a closed standard, so it allows to work in between different brands of products. Okay, for that sense, here you have available both a standalone transmitter and receiver. Maybe you have an endpoint with HDBaseT inputs. Maybe you are coming from an HDBaseT matrix. Okay, these devices will allow you to complete your installation in that sense. In terms of specifications, more or less the same as the previous solution I showed you. Okay, so that is HDMI 2.0 that allows you to do 4K 60 Hz, also bidirectional powering. Okay, but the main difference here is in terms of audio management. As you can see, we are building digital optical outputs. Okay, so when these devices work together, you have several audio working modes available. You can either extract in the receiver or the transmitter. You can also decode A or C signals, so this is also good for a bit more domestic applications like sports bar, for example, to decode the A or C. Okay, so it's pretty complete in that sense. And finally, the last product in the HDBaseT category is a wall panel solution that it's not only a transmitter but also a switcher. Okay, as you can see in the image, we have two HDMI 2.0 connectors, okay, inputs, and also USB-C input here. Okay. Besides that, also two control buttons that allow for CEC, RS-232, and also TCP remote commands to control a third device on the remote end. Okay, but also this device can be remote control. Okay, so with a TCP connection or RS-232 connection, you are going to be able to switch between the inputs here. Okay, the rest of the features in line with the other products in the category. So 4K up to 60, bidirectional powering. Okay, and also 70 meters for Full HD and 40 meters for 4K. Good. So now I want to do a brief bubble, if you allow me, where we are going to step back from the hardware solutions and go on to the software solutions for a bit. Okay. I assume you are more or less familiar with the Ecler catalog, but just let me do a quick run, okay, on EclerNet Manager, okay, EclerNet Manager, which is our management platform. This application, what will allow is several things, okay, but the main one is to integrate all devices in an installation, okay, and build a project where all of them are come together, okay, and are able to get the added value that here in Ecler we wanna offer you as pro consumers, okay. So in one sense, you are going to be able to build the UCP. Okay, what I'm calling UCP is user control panels, as we call it here in Ecler. These are the graphical interfaces allowing for the control of the whole system. We have a huge library of icons like faders, buttons, LED meters, okay, that you can arrange to build your solution for your client. Okay, these buttons will be able to be assigned to each device you have in your project, being audio matrices, video devices, mixers, etc., etc. Okay, you will be able to build all the sections here that you need for your application, and then you can run it through one of our WPNet touch devices, which is a touch screen, okay, that allows you to load these panels. Okay, so this what is going to bring you is the actual control part of an installation, where you can integrate both audio and video devices on the project, okay, and be able to control it remotely. All these devices that we just covered can be controlled with Ecler Manager, can be included in a project, okay, and built in a joint UCP here for control. Okay, great. So having said that, let me go back to hardware. We are just finishing, okay? We are going now to be covering more simple devices to complete installations, okay? The next one is an HDMI extender, okay? A regular RJ45 type of extension point-to-point set of devices, very similar to the first HDBaseT model we covered, the XPT24. Okay, so here you will be finding a transmitter and a receiver point-to-point as well. You're going to be able to share to transmit 4K signals up to 30 meters here, and Full HD up to 60 meters, and also you will be having an HDMI loop out on the transmitter, okay, and also one direction powering through the cable. So you plug your power supply on the transmitter, and the receiver will be just powered as well through the cable. Okay, then I'm going to move now in the in-between wall between IT and video. But as you know, since the pandemic, the hybrid workspaces have been rising significantly. So we launched as well this HDMI USB video capture device, okay, that allowed you to bring all your video local infrastructure into the network, okay, and we're able to record it or stream it through a PC, okay. So you have here very straightforward HDMI input, 4K input, okay, that can be converted to USB, and also you have an audio management section here, which allows you for extraction and insertion of audio, okay. Then we have a range of HDMI 4K splitters as well. 3 flavors, 2, 4, and 8 output here, 4K outputs. As I was saying, very direct products. It allows you to replicate one signal to all the endpoints there. You also have EDD management, okay, to allow to accommodate between the endpoints in case you have several kinds of resolutions there, okay. As I was saying, very self-explanatory set of devices. And then we have a audio management set of solutions to help bring together the audio and video side as well, okay, because there are some installations which you need to extract or insert audio, okay, and not all devices are prepared to it. So we have these accessories that will help the user complete the installation. In that sense, we have two audio extractors, as you can see here, HDMI transparent bypassing 4K, and allows you to extract the audio from the HDMI signal flow, both in analog and digital technologies. We are using here, we are mounting an RCA and a optical digital out. Okay, so this is also more in between the, more than in between, more leaning towards the consumer side. I always put the sports bar solution for that kind of examples, but guys, it's more or less the 85-90% of sales of these devices go to that kind of solution. So that explains a lot. Then we have a more professional leaning device, including Euroblock balance connector here. So besides the digital and RCA analog, the RCA analog and the coaxial digital outputs, we also have this more professional focused kind of device of connector, sorry. The rest of features is the same, so 4K bypass video, and you also have EDID management, in that case focused for audio, toggle switch here. And finally, we have a hybrid solution which allows for embedding and de-embedding. Okay, so you can have both working modes here for those installations where you need to have both solutions in-house, okay, as well 4K HDMI video bypassing, and in that case Euroblock unbalanced stereo here. Okay, finally in this category, digital to audio to analog audio converter. Okay, also going back to the sports bar solution, the main highlight of this product is the ARC input here. So as you know, more or less all domestic TVs now are not including analog audio outputs. So this plus that the content more or less is also created in the same device. There's YouTube, Spotify, whatever, all apps that are running content are built in the TVs. So the only way to extract audio is through a digital out, or in that case through the HDMI ARC connection. Okay, so this digital audio converter, what will allow is to convert between digital to analog, obviously, but in the following way. So you have a toggle here which allows to choose between one of the inputs, the ARC HDMI, the optical digital out, or the coaxial digital in out as well, and it will allow to convert both to analog and cross convert the digital output. Okay, so take for example, you are inputting through the coaxial connector here, you will be getting an unbalanced audio output, analog audio output, and a balanced also audio output in the same time. And on the other side, you will be cross converting to the other connector of the digital outputs available. So for example, as we said, if we input through coaxial, we are going to be outputting in the optical connector. Okay, more or less, this is all we have in terms of audio management devices. And the last category we have here is HDMI cables. We have a complete range, okay, of HDMI 2.0 cables, allowing for 4K 60 Hz kind of connections. As you can see here, we have 5 different lengths, cable lengths, and know that we are adding 2 more. Okay, we are adding 3 and 8 meters as well by the end of summer, more or less. Okay, so this is all up to here in terms of products we have available in Ecler Video. Now I'm going to stop my presentation, and if I'm not mistaken, we are going to step up to the Q&A part of the session, right?
Correct.
I think it's been more or less an hour, right? I think exactly. Yeah, great.
Well done. Very, very, very precise.
Thank you.
Okay, so we got some great questions here. Thanks, everyone. The first one was about the TCP/IP control for devices that don't actually have an Ethernet port, and that question was from Patrick. Alex helpfully actually answered that, and I confirmed that the ETH232AD is an Ecler product, which allows the TCP/IP control of any RS-232 port device. So I don't know whether you want to elaborate on that, Victor, or that's pretty well answered.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that this device runs through wireless network. Okay, so everything is done through Wi-Fi. You can access the web settings page through a Wi-Fi IP address. It has an access point built in, and of course for the RS-232 control, as you were saying, you can use an IP RS-232 converting interface to be able to control it through TCP commands as well. But yeah, more or less, it's all there. Yes.
Okay, Martin asked, what is the maximum transmitter in a system? I assume he means the maximum number of transmitters in a video over IP system.
Yeah, exactly. So in the VO1CG2 series, the Full HD one, you can go up to more or less 762 devices, more or less. So it's a big system. Okay, and for the 4K, I think it's a bit less. I don't actually know the number, but it should be around 16600 or such. Okay, but if you need the number, we can look at up to it. Either way, it's a ridiculously huge system. Yeah,
you won't run out in a hurry. Okay, Daryl from North Queensland is asking, what is the PoE budget for the VoIP devices?
Okay, so is the first profile of PoE? Yes, so it's around 10 watt, I think it is.
Yep. So just do the calculations based on that.
Okay.
Don is asking, is there a receiver unit that you can power off USB from a monitor?
Is there an RX unit that you can power off USB from a monitor? I think I'm not understanding exactly what you mean.
Okay. Don, if you're still with us, maybe you want to elaborate on that while we move on to the next question, and Victor can address it then.
I think what forward from 5 volts to the USB of a monitor. Sorry, I'm reading as well the the questions in the chat. The USB name can be sorry, I'm jumping to the next one. Okay, the USB can be customized in the HDMI capture device. Yes, you can do that. Actually, something that you can do with all devices. especially in Windows. I don't remember now if Mac OS systems allow it, but Windows definitely do. Yes.
Okay, and I think Alex is elaborating on the earlier question. And Don's also added some more as well. So Alex is saying, can you power it from the 5 volt on the USB of a monitor? And,
no. Oh, okay.
no.
I think I get it now. No, you can do that now.
Okay. All right. So that's all the questions we've got. And if anyone wants to add any more, feel free, or we'll wrap up. So
Great.
Just like to thank Victor for his time. Sorry, Victor, you want to add something else?
I just wanted to add, if anyone is needing the presentation we used today, I will be I can send it to you, David, if you want, and you can share it with whoever wants it. So other than that, I just wanted to thank you all as well for joining in, to spending the time with us and learning a bit what Ecler Video can offer. This has been an introduction. Okay, so there's a lot more to it, but we can slowly build up with other sessions or whatever you need. Okay.
And the Ecler YouTube video is a great resource as well. YouTube channel. There's a lot of product deep dives on there that you can access. I'll also say that Ecler video and audio products are now live on the Australis B2B portal for viewing and even better ordering. We've got stock now, and you can get product samples from your Australis account manager if you want to try them. Of course, we'd love to assist you with an Ecler AV solution for your next project, so don't be shy. And good evening, and thanks for attending, and hope you found that interesting and informative.